Hi, I'm Jord. I work at Climb On. Probably if you've come in the store, we've chatted. We're gonna talk about coffee today. We're gonna talk about all the different tools that you can buy and find in Climb On that you can take outside with you to really bring that home coffee feeling into the outdoors. We're gonna talk to Counterpart Coffee today. They are here in Squamish, and we're gonna talk to Em about all of her favorite different tips and tricks and how to really make that outdoor backcountry coffee experience feel just as good as at home, or maybe as close as we can get. Now let's go out and make some coffee. And now we're here with Em. She's going to tell us some more about Counterpart in Squamish.
I'm one of the owners of Counterpart. We've been roasting here in Squamish for 10 years now. And one of our big core business principles is how we source our coffee. We try to, especially with the coffees that we feature, we try to source the same ones year over year. But it's really important to us to have consistency in our sourcing. It really helps the importers who are bringing the coffee in, and it really helps the producers who are growing the coffee.
So we're going to talk about 3 different methods today, and we're going to go from like really easy style to kind of a little bit more complicated as we go.
The first one we're gonna do is we're just gonna make a really easy cup of instant coffee. We've got these little pouches here that have our coffee in them. They're available at Climb On. So all we have to do for this one is basically just add the water and go. So yeah, just top it up a little bit more. Let's get the stove going.
Oh, yeah. Exciting. And is there like a general rule for how hot the coffee is? Should we always let it fully boil? Anything like that?
These ones I find with the instant coffee, it's better to kind of cut the heat before it boils. It doesn't actually have to come to a full boil, because all you're doing is rehydrating the coffee solids that went into making the instant coffee.
Right.
You can even use it cold in a pinch if you want, or like, if it's really hot out, you can just add a bit of cold water. It is nice hotter. Here, I'll pull this guy off and we'll fill it up. Ready for your morning cup.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's crazy. That's surprising for an instant coffee. That's nice. So our next category is the Jetboil. Super nice and compact. We have the French press Minimo here. This is exciting because everything fits inside. So that's super exciting. We love that. Obviously we've pre-set it up a little bit, but when you have it all kitted out, everything connects and it just... So we have our cup stored inside. How fun. And obviously you can make like a really big pot of coffee with this, so that's really nice. For my full, yes, good for sharing. However, if I bring this pot only, I'm stuck either making my coffee first or making my breakfast first, and you can't do both. So it's a potential drawback, but I get to make almost a liter of coffee at once. That's pretty exciting.
Right, yeah. I'm gonna add a whole bunch of water, and then we'll put our lid back on just to make it go a bit faster, but we won't press it. I'll let you put that back on. I don't want to mess it up.
And the nice thing is that this also kind of cinches. Everything's connected now.
I think for the French press, you're gonna want it to come to a full boil, and then maybe wait 30 seconds or something like that for it to just come down a little bit, so it's not like crazy boiling while you're dumping the coffee in.
Yeah, because I guess the coffee has to sit in it for longer, so we need more hot time with the water.
Yeah, in order to sort of properly extract coffee, you want the water temperature to be around 200 degrees, 200 to 205 degrees, and the water boils at 215. And then yeah, for this one, we brought a little bit of pre-ground coffee.
Is it true that we always grind a little bit bigger for like something like this versus a pour over?
Yeah, it's going to be a coarser grind of coffee, but then it'll also depend a little bit on the quality of the French press.
Nice.
Okay, so we're boiling. Wait a minute or two. We'll pull this guy off so it's a bit easier to work with. Maybe you just do like a couple scoops, because their pot's not quite full.
Yeah, like 2 full heaping scoops, you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do
3.
Let's do at least 3. And then you're going to want to give it a quick stir.
Okay.
Get all the ground saturated. And then we're gonna put on a timer for 4 minutes.
Okay.
All right, so we've magically transported 4 minutes ahead in time. I'll do the honors here.
Oh my gosh. Whoa. Oh, it was a full pot.
But we got 2 full cups out of that.
Cheers. Nice. Cheers. Thank you.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
And so now that we're done with this, we just have our grounds in the bottom. Crazy. We'll give it a wipe and we'll make sure that we put our grounds in our garbage bag. We're not dumping them out there. What would happen if I just dumped this out in the forest?
Yeah, generally for camping, I mean, you probably know this, but we want to pack out everything we pack in. So, you know, coffee is kind of similar to an apple core or an orange peel. Like, even if it's going to technically biodegrade, you don't want to leave it in the environment because it's not where it's supposed to be. So with the French press, you're going to get a really nice, like, full body of coffee. It's got a metal filter, so it's going to let some of the coffee fines, as we call them, through, which is just the, like, small granular particles.
That's like the sludge at the end.
Yeah, so it'll let a little bit of that through, which means you just sort of have, like, a fuller body. It's a bit, you know, chewy, creamy. Some people enjoy the sort of like thickness of the French press.
If we could go over the pros and cons again for this one, it's kind of like compactness is one of the best parts. Everything fits in one piece.
It's really easy to make.
Yeah, of course.
You just, you know, boil a bit of water, add the coffee.
Set your timer.
Set your timer if you want.
And we can make a couple cups, obviously, or, you know, someone can just have a lot of coffee today.
Yeah, and then the cons are probably, it's like, it's a bit messy for cleanup. This is your only sort of cooking system.
Breakfast.
You're sort of doing things one at a time because you're making a coffee and then you're going to have to totally clean it out.
Totally.
Reboil some water.
Get your oatmeal in there.
Make your next thing.
Totally. Yeah, and grounds would not be so nice in the other food.
Yeah.
So this is the Whisper Light International. Well, the nice thing about these bottles is that you can really stick any kind of fuel in them. And then obviously you can refill it. It's not a one-time use canister like we used with the Jetboil before.
For our most complicated version of coffee in the backcountry, we're gonna make a little pour over.
Yeah.
And you guys brought this really nice sort of compact kit. We've got our pour over device here, and then that's a little kettle. So we'll pop this out, whoop, like that. And then you want to fill it up with some water, maybe like halfway.
Halfway. Awesome.
Good, yeah.
Totally. Nice.
Okay, so we'll get this going.
Awesome.
Again, this one, you're gonna wanna bring it to a full boil and then let it cool off a touch.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then you've got this
Cute
fancy little
filter.
pour over kit.
Yeah, nice how it turns into its own base. Yay. Wow, that was fast.
This one has a mesh filter. So
Really fine.
Yeah, it's pretty fine. So you basically, like, you don't need to use any extra filter with it. It's just good to go as is. You can always add a filter in if you want it to be like a cleaner cup of coffee.
So if somebody had a preference, maybe they would like for maybe that fuller cup again, would you be able to potentially duplicate that here?
Yeah, so basically if you use this as is, you'll get a bit of the coffee grinds through, so it'll be a bit closer to French press, but it looks like it's a pretty fine filter, so it shouldn't be bad. And then if you wanted it to be more just a cleaner cup, like without any of the fines, you could add a paper filter if you wanted, but you don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah, and for this one, we're even gonna just grind a little bit of coffee in situ. We're just gonna do a single cup, so we'll fill this kind of 2/3 of the way, I think. Full there. You wanna do the honors?
Oh, sure. This is the person who has more time to sit and do their fresh grind in the morning.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh wow, this is not as easy as I thought.
Pump.
Yeah, my warm up in the morning.
Yeah, it's your climbing warm up.
What would be like a benefit of pre-grinding?
Once you grind coffee, it starts to oxidize a little bit. So if you've pre-ground it, but you've kept it in a nice sealed bag, that's kind of like the best bet for if you're gonna pre-grind it at home.
As close to as fresh as you can get.
Yeah, keep it sealed.
Okay.
Otherwise, when it's fresh, it's just gonna be that much better. You're gonna have like all the nice fresh flavor compounds. And then we'll just pop that right in there as is. Maybe we'll even make a little hole in the middle.
Oh, a little well.
Yeah, it looks like we're boiling.
Yeah, super boiling.
So we've got our coffee in here. We've got a tiny little well, which is optional. And then we're gonna pour a little bit of water just to saturate all the grinds. And then let it sit for 30 seconds or so. And we'll give it a tiny little stir, make sure everything is saturated.
So slowly coming out.
This kettle's great because it's got like a nice little spout here. So it's actually really easy for pouring. We'll pull this aside and put it on something else. And then you've got your nice pour over coffee here.
Very nice. Can I tell the difference? Oh yeah, I guess the grind's so small, so it's definitely more full-bodied.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I think the nuttiness is more prevalent.
So what do you think of all the 3 different methods?
Obviously, I love a good fast and light day for when I need to just get up there with a hot coffee really fast. So the instant is going to be nice for that. I like the idea of sharing. I'm very much a social human, so I like the idea of making a big pot to pour for a bunch of people. But like, this is such a slick system that it makes me very that makes me want to do pour over, not just at home. Where can we find your coffee or you guys or your roasting?
So we sell our instant coffee with you guys now, which is great. And then we also, you can find anything more about our company, and you can buy our coffee on our website, which is just counterpartcoffee.com.
And then obviously on my end, all of the little pieces and knickknacks, all of those can come from Climb On, and you can find those either online or in store, obviously, at climbOnEquipment.com.